Hi, welcome to Pearls of Motherhood. I'm your host, Tessie.
And I'm your host, Diana. Have you ever wondered why your child lights up when you give them a hug or they beam when you spend extra time with them? Then this episode is for you. Today, we'll break down the 5 love languages, how they show up in our kids, and most importantly, how we can use them to make our children feel seen and cherished. And we'll be sharing some personal stories, some fun insights, and even a little challenge for you to try at home.
And don't worry, this isn't about adding one more thing to your already full plate.
So
You can
true. We don't
totally,
need that.
yeah, you can totally do this in the background. And we're keeping it simple, practical, and of course, reminding you to follow your gut because you know your child better than anybody. So grab your cup of coffee and let's be real, it's reheated probably like 3 times, like mine is. And
hmm
let's get started. But first, let's do mom facts and book corners.
Okay, mom facts. Did you know that a child's love language starts to take shape in the earliest years of development? It's been shown in studies that from birth to age 5, children are not only building their brains, they're also learning how they give and receive love. So whether it's through cuddles or kind words or quality time or helping out or even little gifts, the way we show love now lays the emotional groundwork for a lifetime of connection. I think that's so cool.
Hmm. Yeah, it makes sense, like they're
hmm
just, children are such little sponges. They pick up everything and copy us and model everything that we do. So why would this be any different? It makes
That
perfect sense.
it sure does. I never thought of it, but it sure does now that I think about it.
Yeah, you know how they're always saying like the most important years are the birth to five?
Yep.
It's so true. Like we have birth to five children right now and in that age group. And like seriously, it's amazing how just 6 months of development can be like this humongous leap in
Yeah.
the child. It's
They're
just like
totally different people.
totally different person, totally like learned so much in just a tiny short amount of time. So it's like it's amazing. It really is like very important time
So
period.
with your oldest being that he's closer to the age of 5, do you notice that that 6 month time span is a little less dramatic in change, or is it just as important and as poignant as like someone who's a newborn and then they're 6 months old?
Yeah. No, I definitely see like the younger they are, the more that 6 months or even just like sometimes 2, 3, 4 months, just like leap years compared to like a 5 and 7 year old.
It's
The
a
things that
completely
they
different
learn.
person.
Yeah, it's incredible. It's like literally, I just potty trained my 2 year old, and in a week, she was going from like totally, using diapers to just literally the thing with like young babies and kids, it's like they can't do something and then just all of a sudden they can. Have you noticed that?
Oh yeah, 100%. So, not with the potty training because we're still struggle busting with that one on our end.
That's a rough one.
um, the other day, she was like walking up an incline. My daughter was walking up an incline and she couldn't do it. Then 2 days later, she literally ran up it by herself. Like,
That's
I
amazing.
do this. I do this. I said, what? I was going to hold her hand just like I had to do last time. And she just takes off like a rocket. I'm thinking, oh my goodness, where did this kid come from?
Yeah, I feel like I've done that with like all of my kids with different things where I'm like, okay, you do this at whatever period in time, just like potty training. And it's like, it's not clicking. It's not clicking. It's like,
Mhm.
yes, when you sit on the potty, it's time to pee, but then they stand up and then they go and then they pee on the carpet. And it's like, no, that's not how it works. And then you're just like so frustrated. Like
Yes.
you can't do this. And then just literally like you turn around one day and they're just doing it all of a
And
sudden.
you're, I know for me, I'm thinking, and why couldn't you do this in the beginning? Well, I understand why. I mean, they're learning, but in my head, I'm like, come on, after all the times I cleaned up your pee, we're
I
still cleaning
know.
up the pee. I mean, come on.
Oh man, potty training is so rough. I mean, we're not perfect. My daughter just had an accident this morning at the park. So like it's a
Aw.
process. It is
Yeah.
not something that happens overnight for sure. But it is amazing how yeah, it's amazing how like at such a young age it could click that quickly. Like all of a sudden Monday we started and she literally did not pee on the potty all week, and Friday she just something clicked and she just started doing it. So it's like amazing how quickly they learn.
So is she peeing for you or is she peeing for daddy?
Oh, she was originally just peeing for daddy or grandpa. And I was like, is this like a girl thing? Is she just like challenging her mother? Because, she challenges me more than my boys for sure. They just
Mm-hmm.
worship me, mama's
Mm-hmm.
boys type.
Yep.
And I do feel like she has this like challenging, it's probably just my personality she has, where I'm just like a huge rebel.
Same.
But now she's doing it on her own. Like she was on her bike yesterday and she just like stood up all of a sudden and got this funny face and ran over to the potty and went. And it was like, oh great. So it's finally like kicking in.
Yay! That's so satisfying.
Yeah.
I'll let you know when I get there.
Yeah. So, based on this mom facts, it makes me wonder if child's love language like starts to take shape this young, can I wonder if it can be like molded, you know what I mean? Like if you're like a very, very loving physical touch type of mother, if that's your love language and you like hug them a ton. But then again, when I think about my kids and they're all so different, like my oldest doesn't ever want to be hugged. Like it's not. And then my youngest, but then I'm always like wondering, did I just not hug him enough when he was little? I'm pretty sure that's not true. Like that's not
I was there when he was an only child, and you gave him a lot of love. I think it's just his personality.
Yeah, so I do think like kids are born with it. I don't know
Hmm.
how much of it is like nature versus nurture, but it'd be interesting. Like
Yeah,
maybe
I
we'll
mean,
learn about
we'll talk about it a little bit more as we get on
that.
in the episode.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so in book corners, The Tale of Peter Rabbit. Do you know that book?
Oh my gosh, I love that book. It's such a classic.
Yes, and I read it to my boys. I can't remember where I got it. I think I got it from Imagination Library where I get a lot
Hmm.
of my books. But it's so just like the whole um I guess moral of it or whatever is like he didn't listen to his mother and he got into a big pickle.
Yep. Big pickle.
Big pickle. And then at the end, like everybody else was enjoying the yummy food and whatnot, and he was sick. And so it was like total natural consequences. So I love that.
You do,
You
you
know
do.
all about
It's a classic tale. It applies to so many generations because let's face it, we all need natural consequences to have to really learn.
yeah. I
Unfortunately,
actually, is it horrible that like sometimes I'll laugh when my kid gets a natural consequence and I just think it's funny.
you're not the only one. So the other day, my daughter now loves jumping on the bed, as every kid does. And I warned her and I warned her. And so she does this thing where she bounces, and we have a guardrail on one side to make sure she doesn't fall off.
Hmm.
And I tell her to be careful and don't bounce too close, don't bounce too close. And so I just got tired of saying it because I've been saying it forever. And she still
Yep.
does it. She looks me in the eye and does it because she's my daughter. And the other day, she bounced too close, looked me in the eye, bounced too close, banged into the metal bar, not too hard, of course, but enough to shock her. And I just had to giggle. And you know
Right?
what she said? She goes, "Listen, I told you." I'm like, yeah, you're right, honey. I should have listened. But I know she's scolding herself. But yeah, I had to chuckle too. And I felt like such a bad mom for doing it. But at the same time, I'm like, well, now you know. And now she doesn't do it. She goes, "Look, mom, not too close."
Yep. Isn't that great? And you don't have to say anything and waste your breath.
Exactly. I talk enough.
Like, I swear, whoever invented that song, Five Little Monkeys Jumping on the Bed, like I could strangle them.
Yes. And everyone who sings it, I'm like, can we please let that go away?
Yeah, well, no. And I used to let my kids listen to it, and now that's what they sing, and they jump on the bed, and I'm like, wait a minute, you're not listening to that song anymore. Oh my God.
Now there's actually gonna be five of them jumping on the bed.
Wow, that's so funny. Because in the version that I listened to too, at the end of it, they go, yes, more monkeys. Like the monkeys said, yes, more monkeys jumping on the bed. And I'm like, wait a minute, how have I let this slip through the cracks and let them put this in their brain?
Yeah, you never know what they're going to pick up. I listened to the version that at the end it says, "Put those monkeys straight to bed."
Oh,
The
that's a
doctor
good
says,
one.
"Put those monkeys straight to bed," because they all have boo boos now. Now, of course, you have a concussion. That's a bad idea, but that's for us to determine, not for kids.
Yeah. So, oh my gosh. Anyways, we've
Anyway,
digressed. The
we
Tale
sure
of
did.
Peter Rabbit. It's a good
Such
book.
a good
You
one.
should check it out. Right.
Yeah. So, shall we get into it?
Yeah.
Okay. So, the five love languages for kids. So let's start with a quick refresher. So, Dr. Gary Chapman introduced the concept of love languages, which helped us understand how people give and receive love. And there are five different love languages. The first one is physical touch, like hugs and cuddles and little moments when you say, I love you. The second one is words of affirmation, like praise or encouragement, like great job, I'm so proud of you. The third one is quality time, where it's focused, undivided attention. You're sitting, you're reading, you're playing a game. Fourth one are gifts. They're thoughtful tokens, like they make art for you or macaroni jewelry, something like that. There's a meaning behind their gift. And the fifth one is acts of service. So doing things to make your life easier, helping you fold the laundry or trying to fold the laundry, um, putting away their toys. Let's face it, if your kid puts away toys, man, I'm jealous. So those are the five different love languages, and I have to say that when we came up with this idea of love languages, I was really excited because I never thought of a kid having a love language. But then we talk about as adults, oh, what's my love language? Is it food? Is it this or is it that? And it clicked in my head that they have it too. And trying to decipher it for a kid is so much harder than for an adult.
Yeah, I mean, it kind of makes sense. Like I always try to like view my kids as little humans because they are. And if we adults have feelings and love languages and all of these like emotions and whatnot, like why would our kids be any different? When you really think about it, it makes perfect sense. And so like just like us as adults, we have a primary love language, and that's the one that speaks the loudest, and the kids do too. And
Mm-hmm.
so just like you just have to be in tune with them to figure it out. And that's the fun part, figuring out which one, right? Like
Yeah, it is. It is. So, how can we identify our kids' love language?
okay, so how do you know which love language speaks to your child's heart the most when you think about it? Like, well, first off, what I would think is like pay attention to what do they naturally do for you. Think about it if it's like the roles are reversed, and you're thinking about your own, right? Your own language. Like, what do you do? Or what do you like somebody to do for you? Okay. So do your kids constantly say, like, Mommy, I love you? They might be a words of affirmation kid. And then you can like feed on that, and you can do that back to them a lot. You can like speak to them back. Or do they always want to snuggle? So then that's like a huge physical touch, like screaming physical touch, love language they need.
Absolutely. Another way to think of it is what are they asking from you? It's not just what they naturally do, but what do they ask of you? So my daughter is all about, Mama, come play. come play, spend time with me. And that's a huge sign that she's a quality time girl. And then I remember giving my grandmother gifts. I remember it was her birthday, and I didn't have money to go out and buy her something, so I would draw things and make. Oh, she had this gorgeous garden in the back, and so I would pick flowers. I would make bouquets for her. So for me, when I was little, it was all about gifts. Gifts were my love language when I was little.
Mhm. And then there's like the meltdown factor, like what upsets them, if they
Mm-hmm.
get really teary when you're busy and you can't play, maybe they're craving quality time. Or like if they feel unappreciated when they've helped you clean up and you didn't make as big of a deal or as they wanted or whatever, maybe that's acts of service. Like a kid that's always doing stuff for you is for sure acts of service. And
Mm-hmm.
so that like in order to reciprocate to them, you would want to do acts of service back, to like
Yeah,
fill their love tank, so to speak.
that's a really
What
good way to
is
put
your
it.
love language, by the way? What do you think?
Mine, I would think, I think I'm a mix, honestly. I think I am very much a snuggler, but for me, if I truly care about you, my love language is actually food. So I guess that falls into acts of service. If I like you, I will cook you a meal. I will have you over. I will bake you things. That's how I do it. So I guess I'm a little bit of everything, but my primary one is acts of service. How
Yeah,
about you?
mine too. Yeah,
Really?
that's mine too. Acts of service. Like, if I'm like doing something for you, that's like a
Hmm.
big deal. It means that I really care about you. And then like vice versa, if you do something for me, that
Hmm.
like speaks such volumes to me because I always, like those people that are like, oh, you could say whatever you want to me and like it doesn't mean anything. Like I want to see your actions. That's like
Yeah.
totally me. That
Yep.
sends me up. I'm like, even like an apology. I'm like, literally, you don't even have to say sorry. To me, you
Hmm.
don't have to say thank you even. I'm just like, just show it with your
Hmm.
action type of thing.
Actions speak louder than words. And especially, I think when you're a mom, when you're older, and you have kids, there's so little time. So an act of service that I'm carving out for you means so much.
You do have to. The thing is, like, you could, as a mom, you could totally get burnt out if you're constantly doing acts of service for everyone that you love, right? So
Yes.
that's the hard part is finding the balance if that is yours. And then I don't know, it's like I don't want to like prioritize one person or another, you know what I
Hmm.
mean? But it can be easy to get burnt out.
Yeah, it's so true. Let's have a little fun. Let's take a quick quiz. What do you think?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay. So, moms, we want to hear from you. Answer yes or no to these questions. Question one: does your child climb into your lap every chance they get? Yes or no? If they do, they may be a physical touch kind of kid. Question two: do they light up when you compliment them? And if they do, it could be words of affirmation time kind of kid. Question three: do they want to show you every little thing they make or find? If they do, they're a gifts kind of kid. Question four: do they pout when you don't play with them? Mine does.
Or constantly
They,
ask you to play with them.
yes. Then they're a quality time kind of kid. And last question: do they love helping you with your task? If they do, they may be an acts of service kid.
Yeah, totally. I mean, my oldest, he is such like he loves helping and doing folding laundry with me and he still wants me, you all know this, he still wants me to do everything for him. And part of me is like, I don't know if it's just him not wanting to grow up, but I do definitely know that the acts of service plays into that because I just know that about him. And so it is finding a balance with him where it's like I still have to push him out of the nest a little bit, but at the same
Hmm.
time, like, I don't want him to feel like I don't love him.
Yeah.
So, I feel like quality time would be is like the hardest one, right? Because requires a lot of time. Whereas like words of affirmation, you could just tell your kid that they're happy and they'll run off and do whatever, but like
Hmm.
quality time really takes a lot of effort, even with adults.
Yeah, or even gifts because they're off making something and then they come to you and then they go away again. But
Yeah.
I agree, quality time, they want every ounce of your attention and your brain power.
Hmm. Exactly. Yeah.
So if you tallied up your yeses, and you may have more than one yes, that's okay. I know for me
Mhm.
personally, my personality, like I said before, I am more than one type. But maybe your kid is just one or more, and that's okay. If you notice more than one coming up, then you cater to both, to all of those.
Mhm. Yeah.
You can't go wrong then.
Yeah. I mean, one is probably the primary, and then the other one's probably the secondary. It's probably similar to their personality. Like kids have certain personalities, but in different situations, they have like certain factors of different personality styles kind of like show.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So, so that's the thing. It's like also you want to read the room a little bit, if you're a child, you kind of just want to be in tune with them and based on what is going on in their life at that time or in the situation, that's what you would want to cater to, right? That's what you would
Mm-hmm.
want to like if your child is crawling in your arms and wanting a hug and stuff like that. Just go with it.
Yeah. And also, I have you noticed with your kids, have they changed their love language as they've gotten older, or have they been pretty consistent?
I feel like they've been pretty consistent. But like it can be kind of confusing because my second, as he's gotten older, he's gotten very helpful. Like sometimes I joke that he's like the other adult in the room because he's 5, but
He's very mature.
oh, yes, he's so helpful. I can ask him to do anything. He's so bright that I can describe something and he gets it. I'm like, go right here to this location and find this and bring it to me. And he can do it, and he's like super, it's just like incredible. So I think he enjoys doing it for me. But at the same time, like I always thought he was a physical touch. Like he has to cuddle me to bed every night and he has to be
Mm-hmm.
there close to me. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I don't know. Like maybe it's a situational thing where maybe that's not even the case. Maybe he just does it because I'm asking him. Because sometimes he does say, like, you always ask me to do everything. And I'm like, because you're awesome.
Yeah, because you're so good at it, buddy.
I
You
know.
help me
I
so
feel
much.
bad.
Do
I
you
do
think
have
it
to
helps?
like temper that down a little and be, okay, well, he is just 5. I shouldn't ask him to do everything.
But the thing is that if he, let's face it, he's 5. If he doesn't want to do it, he's not gonna do it.
Hmm.
So,
That's true.
so do you think that it could fall possibly into quality time? Because I know for me, being the oldest of 4, I did a lot of acts of service and gifts, but it was also a way to spend more time with my mom. So I would help her
Oh,
fold laundry because that's what she was doing at the time, and I wanted to be with her. Do you think it could fall
oh,
into that with some of your kids?
totally. Yeah. Yeah, it could. Yeah. So here's the fun part. Once you figured it out, like let us know. Reach
Yeah.
out. Let us know what your kids' love language is because like we're still trying to figure out our kids. I think it's harder when they're younger too, but I also do feel like I've seen it from birth on all of them. There's
Hmm.
certain yeah, but we would love to hear what your guys' child love language are. Like show up daily and how. How do you
Yeah.
recognize it?
Yep.
So tag us on social media, share your stories, Pearls of Motherhood. We'll feature some of your responses in an episode, maybe in the future.
Yeah. And if you're not sure, don't worry. You can always try out different ways of expressing love and seeing which one resonates. And remember, it's all about following your gut.
Yeah.
Listen to your gut.
Yeah, like that's our number one like motto, I swear.
I really, we need to put that on a t shirt.
That's so true. We should actually. Yeah.
So, everyday applications of this, how can we speak it? What do you think, Tessie?
Well, yeah, once you know or you figured out or you feel like you've gotten at least close to what your child's love language is, like the good news is that it doesn't have to be complicated. So, like I said, I do feel like quality time, especially for me because it's not mine, that's probably like the most time consuming and difficult. But also if like somebody loves quality time, like a mother, and maybe physical touch is not your thing, that might be the most difficult for you. But like for physical touch, just squeeze in extra hugs before school or during the day, ruffle
Hmm.
their hair when they pass by, have cuddle time before bed. Just find ways to touch them. Like it
Hmm.
doesn't have to be a huge deal. Doesn't have to be a long drawn out thing. Just
A half
like
hour snuggle time. That's like my dream come true, but some nightmares for some moms. I mean, I get that.
yeah, and then if your kid's like word of affirmation, if they're always talking to you, complimenting you, or and that's their thing, then just try some morning affirmations with them. Be like, you're
Hmm.
kind, you're strong, you're loved. Tell them what they've done great that day. Tell them like how much you love who they are. Just such the tiniest little, I feel like the tiniest, but here's the thing, it has to be genuine. It has to be like
Hmm.
a legit compliment, I guess, or you know,
No,
like
well, yeah, it can't be, oh, yeah, oh, I don't know, something super superficial, like, oh, hey, you put on your shoe today, and they've been doing it for 10 years.
yeah.
It kind of loses it. If my mom said to me at my age, 40 something, says, hey, good job putting on your shoes, honey, I'm gonna go, thanks. That's kind of empty.
Yeah, like kids are super perceptive. They pick up on fakeness, I think
Hmm.
anyways. So if you're telling your kids something that's not genuine from your heart, just you might as well not even do it because that's
Yeah.
probably just going to hurt their feelings more if they're words of affirmation. Like they want to be
Yeah.
legit.
I was just, an idea just popped into my head. I remember when I was still in corporate medicine and I was doing these leadership training classes. And one of the things that we always did before we started a session was that we talked about something that was positive, some something good that went on and that you're proud of. And then my husband and I, for a while, we were doing it at the end of the day because
Hmm.
it's so easy to lament, oh, I had a bad day, blah, 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 and then to go to bed on that. So we started doing it at night, like, oh, what was a good thing that happened to us today, and something that you're proud of. And so that's a great way of maybe working that in with your kids if they're an affirmation kind of kid. Start their day positive and then end the day on a positive note.
Yeah, I love that. Asking them, I ask them sometimes, what was your favorite thing that happened today? Because they're boys. They
Hmm.
don't tell me, like, they don't just like volunteer information a lot of the time. But no, I love that. Yeah, you should totally implement that. You could start even with your little one, even at two
Yeah.
and a half, probably. It's just
Yeah.
little ways, not like, you know, genius
It becomes a
conversation.
habit, right? It becomes a
Yeah.
habit. So even though right now she's going to be like, I don't know, mom, you choose, at least she starts thinking about it. And then it can be part of a end of day type of thing, a part of our bedtime routine, maybe. In place of a bath, since that stimulates her, we'll just do positive affirmation before bed.
There you go. Like that's her thing. Well, if your child's acts of service, like bring them a cozy blanket while they read, fix their
Hmm.
favorite snack just the way they like it. And I think, like, for this one, at least I can speak to it. If it's unexpected, it definitely means a lot more,
Yeah.
if they have, so they don't have to ask you. But if they
Hmm.
definitely ask you, you should try to do your best to like do it.
Hmm.
To a certain
Hmm.
extent, but yeah, just like find little times where you can just do something special for them without them asking. So, and if it's gifts, you can leave a little note in their lunchbox. You could pick a flower for them, make them a little special drawing, just like something like that. Doesn't have to be expensive. And we're not talking about materialism here.
Hmm.
Just like buying them a million toys to feed their love language. Like it's not,
Hmm.
that wouldn't even mean the same thing anyways. So it has to be meaningful, just like with words of affirmation. If the gift isn't thoughtful, It probably doesn't have
Hmm.
the same weight, you know?
Yeah.
And then quality time, definitely set aside a few minutes, one-on-one time, even if it's just like chatting while you're folding laundry or just like 15 minutes before bedtime, just you two, no siblings, nobody else in the room, just time playing a game together, just something. And honestly, I don't even think it really takes that much time for a little kid. It just takes maybe just grab a book. Read one book. Yeah.
5 minutes. I notice that too when we have guests over and they stay overnight. Our routine is a little bit off, and she gets a little jealous of wanting our time. So
Mhm.
whenever we have guests over, we make a point to take her upstairs to her room, me and my husband, and we just spend time with just her. And it's only 5 minutes. We're not leaving our guests, hanging for an hour, but it's 5 minutes, and she thrives on it, and then she's happy again. And we go back downstairs, and she's her happy self. But I think it's taking that little bit of time, acknowledging her as a person and her needs, that makes all the difference.
It's incredible how that helps, even if that's not your child's love language. Because I've noticed in my like 2 and 3 year olds, and when my older ones were younger, you know how they get into this like phase where they, if you're busy, they start acting up so that they
Mm-hmm.
get the
Oh,
attention, right?
yes. Oh,
And then
yeah.
they're getting like the bad attention and then it feeds on it. Well, I've actually found that if I just like put away what I'm doing for just 2 minutes, read like a story to them as many times. Sometimes my 3 year old wants me to read it like 10 times, but
Yeah.
read it to them, read a couple of different books, just snuggle, just the two of you. And then literally it takes like 15 minutes and then he's off playing by himself happy, you know? So, like,
Hmm.
even if that's not their love language, that can be an effective tool.
That's so smart. It's an investment in time, right? You invest 10, 15 minutes and then they're off again for 30 minutes. You double
Yes.
your
And you,
return, right?
you get to, yes, you get to have some peace of mind. So, and then also, yeah. Don't forget to mix it up. Even if your
Yeah.
child, like I just said, if their primary love language is one thing, like showing love in all five waves obviously creates a well-rounded emotional connection. And you don't want to get like all hyper focused on just like one thing. Clearly, we're all human and we're not just robots.
Imagine they go off to kindergarten or first grade and their friend and they're one type of kid and then they meet a friend who's all about gifts and the kid gives your kid a gift and they go, what's this for? I don't understand. So it's a good way to let them know that there are different ways that people will act and show affection.
Hmm. Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Could I could totally see my daughter coming home going, "Yeah, this kid gave me a leaf. I don't get it." And she's done that before. We were at the park last summer, and she was playing with this kid, and this kid he picked up a little flower to give to her, and I thought it was the sweetest thing. She comes over like and just drops it on my lap, like, "Why? It's garbage." I'm like, he's being nice, and she looks at me like I have three heads. I'm like, okay, obviously we need to work on that part.
That's so funny.
Oopsie. Okay, Mama. So here's our little challenge. Nothing big, something in the background. This week, try to intentionally speak your child's love language at least once a day. And even let's add in an extra step. Let's observe how they react.
Mm, yeah. That would be interesting too, if like there is a child that seems to be like always acting up or seems to always like need you when you like the second, just taking like an extra 15 minutes, just do something, speak their love language and see if that behavior like improves, you know,
Yeah.
or if they're always having tantrums or something.
Mhm.
Clearly, like, you know, I've heard before that like no kid actually wants to misbehave, you know, they're not like looking to misbehave. They're clearly trying to meet a need that's not being met, right? And
Mhm.
so that's the challenge, is figuring it out. And, and maybe this could be the key. You know what I
It,
mean? Like
it
if
could
you're
be.
struggling right now out there, because I'll tell you what, I have some days with my 3.5 year old where I'm like if I had him first, like he'd have been the only child because he is so hard. But I do also think that 3 is a hard age, a very hard age in general. When I think back on all of my kids, except for my first, he's like an angel, but they were very hard at 3. Even he was probably hard at 3. Let's be real. But yeah, just that would be interesting to see, like if you do see improvement in any bad behaviors, you know what I mean?
Hmm.
It'd be a
Yeah.
great experiment.
Yeah. And then let us know about it. We want to hear it. So send us a message, share your stories, find us on Instagram. We want to hear, how did it go and what did you observe? Because every kid is different and you're not alone. I bet you there's at least one other mom out there who totally knows what you're talking about. So share your story.
Yeah, exactly. And then you can connect with our community. That's the
Yeah.
whole point of this.
We're building a community that where we support each other no matter what, because we all have different ways of doing things and we follow our guts.
Hmm. Yeah, we do. Like, you do you. You do you, mama. Right.
That's right. That's another t-shirt we need to make.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
at the end of the day, every child wants to feel loved, right? And when we learn to speak their love language, we're filling their hearts in a way that truly matters.
Yeah, and especially if you have like lots of kids, I know it can be challenging, especially if they have like acts of service or quality time where it takes like a little bit more effort on your part than just like saying something, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, that's what we're here for. We're moms. We're here to like shape and mold the next generation in a positive direction. And like, we got to be mindful about that. So I think this will be fun if you actually tune into it and do it.
Mm-hmm.
It's awesome.
And we'll be here to support you the whole way because we
Yeah.
totally get it. I have one. Tessie's about to have 5. We get it. We're covering the spectrum here.
Yeah. So today we cracked the code on your child's love language. From hugs to words to playtime, we shared simple tips to help you connect on a deeper level with your little one. So the big takeaway, every child has their own special way of feeling loved. And when we speak their language, we're building that unbreakable bond. So take a moment to notice how your kiddo shows love and follow your gut. We hope you're feeling inspired to give your little one even more of what they need.
Thank you so much for listening to us at Pearls of Motherhood. Feel free to contact us at pearlsofmotherhood.com and to email us at ideas@pearlsofmotherhood.com. We're also on Instagram at Pomcast. That's POMCASTS. We'd love to hear your thoughts on this episode or any future episodes. After all, we are a podcast for all moms and would love to know what you'd like to explore. New episodes will drop once a week on Friday, so stay tuned for more fun and more pearls. Have a great day. Talk to you soon.
Bye.